It's now with deep admiration that I welcome our next speaker, Ms. Donna Sollenberger. I first met Donna when we worked together at MD Anderson Cancer Center. I was a young surgical fellow completing my fellowship. She was the division administrator for the Department of Surgery at the time. I remember the first time I ever saw her and heard her speak, I realized that she knew all about what it means to be purpose-driven and compassionate as a leader. And I now feel so fortunate to have had this opportunity to work with her again at UTMB. She has served as our Executive Vice President and CEO of our health system since 2009, joining us 1 year and 1 day after Hurricane Ike passed through. She and her team have led the UTMB health system through a period of tremendous growth. Donna's influence can be seen in every aspect of this hospital, from the design of the patient rooms to the spectacular views to the fabulous art on the walls. Please join me in welcoming Donna Sollenberger.
What a wonderful, wonderful day. I can't believe personally that it's here. I'm headed to bed for the night. Pray for us. That's a message I received just before midnight on Friday, September 12th, 2008, from my friend David Marshall, who was the Chief Operating Officer at UTMB. The day prior, UTMB staff had safely evacuated its patients. They had secured the campus, even as the storm approached. By the time I received the message, Hurricane Ike was only hours away. At 2 a.m. on September 13th, the eye of the storm passed over Galveston. Although Ike was considered only a Category 2 storm, the size made it one of the most devastating hurricanes in U.S. recent history. At the time, I didn't work for UTMB, as you've already heard, but I went to bed that evening with David's message weighing heavily on my mind. In the days that followed, I watched with disbelief the news. Aerial footage showed places on Galveston Island where floodwaters had reached nearly 20 feet. Interstate 45 was littered with boats. Homes had been swept off of their foundations. I could not believe the magnitude of the devastation. Nearly a month later, on October 7th, I remember watching a video posted to UTMB's website of Dr. David Callender at a town hall meeting. He calmly assured the community that UTMB would be rebuilt and that it would emerge stronger than ever before. I'm certain at the time people appreciated his words but had some doubts whether or not that was going to happen. By then, people across the state were already seriously questioning whether or not UTMB should be rebuilt on Galveston Island. But despite the storm's damage and all the naysayers who said UTMB would be forever closed, UTMB's employees and students courageously marched on, wearing a smile as they helped clean up the campus. And as you've heard, they adopted the motto from the great storm of 1900, UTMB stops for no storm. Although I wasn't here for that first year of recovery, today I share the great feelings of pride and success of what those who were here during the darkest days of UTMB must feel. It was 1 year and a day after Hurricane Ike I began working at UTMB, and I remember standing on a grassy area between John Seeley Hospital and the administration building to watch the UTMB flag being raised during the Hurricane Ike commemoration ceremony. And I watched. It was an emotional and triumphant day for brave and tenacious students, faculty, and staff who had remained so passionately dedicated to rebuilding UTMB on Galveston Island. In those first weeks on the job, I would go around the hospital and visit. One day I went to the medical intensive care unit, and it was really busy. And I saw a nurse come out chewing her last bite of lunch, and I said to her, "Wow, you guys are really busy today." And her response wasn't what I expected. She said, "Isn't it wonderful? We have our patients back." Meanwhile, the pharmacy was functioning out of a patient unit. The usual technology to support their work wasn't there. There was no robot, no medication carousel, nothing. Just determined pharmacists and technicians who filled hundreds of prescriptions a day with the same degree of accuracy as they had when they had the technology. The kitchen was a tent that occupied the garage where many of you parked today in the plaza. Surgical instruments took 120-mile round trips every day to get sterilized so we could do procedures. The Jenny Seeley Hospital represents the work of so many people, and we can't even acknowledge them all. Literally hundreds of people who have worked thousands of hours to make this happen. We designed this with so much input from our faculty and staff, from our residents and students. And as you get the opportunity to see the hospital, you will realize that it was built mostly, though, with the patients in mind. We followed so many principles of evidence-based design. We listened to patients who told us, no, we don't want that sofa, the one you all picked out. We want to try some others. And we tried them, and we have in the rooms exactly what our patients picked out. It offers state-of-the-art technology, and its layout offers many capabilities. For example, every room can be shifted from being an acute care room to an ICU room. There, as you see, beautiful views of the water, and there is art everywhere. The views of the water alone make this a treasure. And I know Mr. Seeley and I talked about the beautiful views we could see from the harbor not too long ago. And I remember with his usual humor, he asked, were we going to charge more for those ocean views? I told him only for him. While it's impossible to single out everybody, I'd like to thank the state of Texas for helping fund our restoration, the Board of Regents and the UT system for believing in the importance of UTMB's role in patient care and educating medical professionals in the state, the Seeley and Smith Foundation for your extraordinary and visionary gift, which signaled to the state of Texas a strong commitment to rebuilding UTMB and assuring excellence in patient care on Galveston Island. You've worked shoulder to shoulder with us as we rebuilt to assure our 125-year legacy continues. The Moody Foundation gave us also unwavering support and investment in our work to manage complex patients and to assure that we have state-of-the-art facilities, equipment, and programs to support that care. I thank you so much. But I'd be remiss if I didn't really point out all of the work and the belief that the students, faculty, and residents had in our family campaign. They donated over $11 million, and their contributions represent how passionately they care about and believe in UTMB. I'm especially grateful and thankful to all of you here today who have contributed in very significant ways to make Jenny Seeley Hospital a reality. Your contributions will help thousands of patients and families for years to come, people you will never know, but who will benefit from your generosity. I'd like to close with a quote that I believe captures the essence of what each of you has helped UTMB accomplish. It's impossible, said pride. It's risky, said experience. It's pointless, said reason. Give it a try, whispered the heart. From the bottom of our hearts, I want to thank each of you today who listened to the whispers of your heart. You have made this possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. At this time, I want to recognize our speakers and special guests with a small gift to commemorate this day. It will be U.S. Senator John Cornyn, who will be our keynote speaker, joining us a bit later at the dedication ceremony. The office of U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Taylor, Representative Bonin, Representative Faircloth, Craig Island, Dan Branch, Board of Regents Chairman Paul Foster, Regent Alex Cranberg, Student Regent Drake, Justin Drake, Chancellor McRaven, Dr. Sigaroa, the Seeley and Smith Foundation, the Moody Foundation. At each milestone in the process of completing the Jenny Seeley Hospital, we produced commemorative pins, and you have the most current one on your place today. We have framed pieces now that include the entire series of Jenny Seeley pins: demolition, groundbreaking, topping off ceremony, and today's dedication ceremony. And in the middle is a UTMB 125 pin commemorating our anniversary year. Thanks to all the recipients and all of you here today for being part of our historic journey to the Jenny Seeley Hospital. Please continue to stand with us as we begin our next 125 years of service. Thank you so much. Here's the pin plaque that each of those people in their offices will receive. So now we're just minutes away from our formal dedication ceremony. I think you can hear the crowds gathering below. And so I'll invite you to, at your leisure, move down to the main lobby on the second floor, and we'll begin the dedication ceremony at 2 p.m. Again, thank you for celebrating with us today.
UTMB Health, working together to work wonders.